Of all the different spiritual practices there are, I would say that practicing gratitude is perhaps one of the most powerful in changing yourself and changing your life. I first started thinking about this when I was at Tony Robbins' personal development weekend in New York, and he was telling us a story of how he funded this scientific study to see exactly what kind of effects gratitude has on the mind and body. And so people were rigged up with kind of sensors on their nervous to measure bioelectricity in their nervous system, and brain impulses and hormonal releases in the brain and whatnot. And they were asked to visualize and think about different things. But what was found was that gratitude sent the meters like off the scale. It really has such an effect inside the body and the mind and of the human being. Gratitude seems to be a very the most powerful thought and emotion you can have. And so what we found is that really where gratitude exists, the ego cannot. So that is to say, in the mind, when you are very mindful of what you're grateful for, at that moment the ego can have no control over your mind. And when I say ego, I don't mean just that egotistical big-headedness, pride type thing. I mean ego really in the spiritual Eastern context, which I talk a bit more about in one of my other videos called The Egoic Mind. And what this really means then is, because I mean all spiritual practices ultimately are designed to eradicate the ego within the human being. And the most powerful way to see this, the most obvious way to see this in action in yourself, is if you ever find yourself full of like self-pity or indulging in your problems, which we all do. It's a very it's one of these useless human things that we do, where if something goes wrong, we really focus on it, and we just can't take our mind off the problem, and for some reason we just love to make it worse. Well, the most surefire way to finish that off, to end that process, is to fill yourself with gratitude. That is to say, to make a list in your mind of all those things which you are grateful for, all those things which you do have, not the problems that are going on, but the things that the positive things that are in your life. And you'll soon find that if you ever make a list of things you're grateful for, it really quickly becomes obvious that that list is actually endless, and that you can be grateful for everything. And in fact, you should be grateful for everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. And I can say from experience that being grateful for even the bad things that happen to you is a really deep thing. And I don't just mean casually saying, well, oh yeah, I suppose it was a good thing that happened in the end, everything happens for a reason. Like, you know, lots of people say stuff and don't mean it. I mean when you can truly look at something that's gone wrong and say, thank you. When this shit hits the fan, to be grateful for it. And it's much easier to do in hindsight, you know, to find a problem that happened in the past and then look at how you've grown or become stronger from that scenario, or wiser, and then become grateful. And I suppose that means then that the ultimate spirituality is to be grateful for bad shit when it happens. And that's really hard, and I'm not there yet, but I'm trying. And really, I can really say from experience, I mean, in 2006, for example, I lost so much. My whole life got flipped upside down. The year began with me seeing my mum die right in front of me, and then about 3 months later my girlfriend of 4 years decided to cheat on me, and then I kind of flipped out, and I found out who this guy was, and I found out where he lived and everything. I got arrested for assault, and the legal repercussions of that meant that I couldn't apply for this dream job, which I'd always had in my mind, and that still is true of today. And then also the family home that we'd had for about 16 years got taken away from me because it was in my mum's name, and then she died, so legally I couldn't live there, blah blah blah. And I had to move into a one-bedroom apartment, and yeah, so all kinds of... It was a crazy year. Like, I mean, I would humbly say that a lot of people would have just killed themselves. It was just my whole life, from the start of the year to the end of the year, looked totally different, totally mind-blowing. But I can say now that what got me through it and what leaves me here today, a happy and content person with no scars, is gratitude. Not at the time, that was very hard, but very soon after all those events, that's when I did this Tony Robbins thing and learnt about gratitude. That's when I started practicing gratitude, and I mean practicing it, not just thinking about it or talking about it. And what I found is gratitude in a bad situation opens the door to forgiveness. It is the key which unlocks that door. If anybody's ever wronged you or crossed you, you can only ever forgive them through gratitude. You first have to be grateful for, as weird as it sounds, for what they did to you. And then only real forgiveness can happen. Anything else is really just probably quite superficial. If you can say you forgive someone, but you cling on to that anger for what they did, and you still resent it, it's not real forgiveness. And not just forgiveness, but any positivity that can be found in a bad situation can only be sucked out through gratitude. You must be grateful in order to learn anything there is to learn, or grow in any way you can, or if there's ever a way in which that situation will make you stronger, gratitude is the only way really to truly make that happen. Gratitude for the shit, and then you can turn that shit into something good. And probably the highest form of applying gratitude is simply to be grateful for now, your life, being alive. You can breathe. You're alive to experience all this, good, bad. It's only one lifetime, even if you believe in reincarnation. And if you can really be grateful for right now, this moment, this breath that you take, this awareness that you have, be grateful for yourself.
Congratulations, you are alive. Now let's begin with that. We don't have to create a curriculum. That's not necessary. Let's just begin with, congratulations, you are alive. What more needs to be said? Do you know what that means?
Probably not. What does it mean?
I'm very fortunate to be alive. Where's my gratitude that I exist? I'm unique. Do I really see myself as this unique being, this new unique individual? Or am I so busy trying to be like everyone else?
What else do you teach?
What else is there? Is there more?
This is a short but intense discussion.
It should be.